Footballers, if you can stick with me through this entire video, I will teach you how to take upper body training and transform it in a way that is going to actually make you a better footballer on the pitch. And here's a real quick intro, just because it's important for you to know who is talking to you and if you should trust me or not. My name is Matt Stigler. I coach footballers from the youth to the pro level, and I have been doing this for over 10 years now, which is a crazy thing to say. And I have helped hundreds upon hundreds of footballers all across the globe get results just like this, and upper body training has been a big part of that. Because most of the time when footballers think about upper body training, they think of one of three things. They either just completely disregard it because they're like, football is just played with my feet. There's no need to actually worry about what's happening on my upper body, my rib cage. The second thing that happens is they just train like a bodybuilder because some people just don't know any other way how to train upper body. And number three is they see the light. They realize that the entire body is connected and everything impacts everything. And they realize that you actually can dramatically improve your athleticism by training your upper body properly. And my goal with this video is to educate you on how we can get you to being person number three. Now, I swear, the amount of times that I get tagged in a video on TikTok or Instagram where it's like, all right, upper body routine of a D1 footballer or complete upper body routine of a pro footballer. And all it is 4x10 pull-up, 3x8 bench press, and 5x5 overhead press. You are leaving so much, and I mean so much, on the table by only limiting yourself to these types of movements. And I understand why people do this, and I promise you I'm not trying to hate. I just know that you can do so much better. And this one trick that I use with my athletes is going to help you do just that. Specifically, it's going to help you sprint faster on the pitch, it's going to help you be stronger and more agile. I know that sounds crazy because we're talking about upper body, but it's going to make sense. And that trick is alternating reaching and pulling exercises. And here's what I mean. When people talk about sprinting, changing direction, or shielding the ball, for some reason they don't think about how the rib cage is actually positioned. But it is very rare for our rib cage to be perfectly facing forward while our hips are perfectly facing forward and everything is aligned. So why do we train our upper body like that? You do pull-ups, you do bench press, you do overhead press, and everything is square. I know that there is plenty of benefit still from general strength and conditioning work, along with more sports-specific type of stuff, but most people just dump everything into the general category, especially when it comes to upper body work. I still save room for 1 to 2 heavy compound movements in my upper body routines, like a bench press or a pull-up. But once you get those benefits from the first 2 to 7 or 8 sets, you're really just wasting your time at that point, or at least not spending it as well as you could be. This is where we can throw in things like alternating incline bench to load the rib cage and rotate it heavy. We can add rotation rows like this to train our body to rotate while we're in more of a deceleration position as well. And the list goes on and on. But sprinkle these things in 2 to 3 sets, 8 to 20 reps after your main compound lift, and I promise you will be moving better and feeling better in no time. One of the biggest problems with the weight room is that we have infinite time to actually move the weight. What I mean by that is so often we judge gym session quality by how much a person lifts. So if we take 2 people and each of them do a 1 rep max deadlift of 315 pounds, they both complete it. But person A takes 10 seconds to complete the rep and person B takes 1 second. So often we judge that as they both deadlifted 315, so they're the same. But so often on the pitch, we need to quickly create tension and quickly produce force. And sometimes we need to react to things that we don't even see coming. We have to body an opponent off who hit us in a blind spot. We have to use a total body movement to anticipate the ground, maintain our balance, and keep running at high speeds up the pitch. And the best way that we can actually train this, that classic gym training misses, is through impulse training. We can take exercises like push-up drop catches and others like this to teach our body to go from 0 tension to max tension the second we make contact with something. And these types of movement don't just stimulate the muscles, they stimulate the entire nervous system. And it teaches the body to do exactly that when we're on the pitch. So every time your foot hits the ground or your opponent tries to take you out when you aren't looking, you can be grateful that you started training upper body like an actual athlete. Now, it is hilarious how often I see pro footballers talking and doing these interviews and saying like, yeah, I don't lift weights, this is all natural. And then only for me to scroll for 5 minutes longer and see a video of them doing some type of strength training with their team. Even sometimes I found them doing strength training independently, which means they actually reached out to a trainer and brought them in. There's this really weird culture around weight training and football where people think, especially for upper body training, they think that it's all like bench press and chin ups, and they're like, how does that translate onto the pitch? But if you want to actually take football seriously and train upper body like the pros, or at least the pros that have good strength and conditioning programs, then I promise you that you're going to want to add upper body exercises that connect the lower body to the upper body. Most movements on the pitch require some type of force transition from the lower body through the core through the upper body. And this can create efficient movement patterns through all different types of movements on the pitch, whether that's sprinting, change of direction, kicking the ball, shooting from a long distance, the list goes on. So to really separate yourself from your bodybuilding friends or those footballers that just deny any type of strength training, make sure to add these exercises. Number one is going to be a barbell push press. Do this for 6 weeks and make sure every week you actually lighten up the weight to overload the speed of transition. Then you're gonna wanna add med ball scoop tosses. With this, you actually want to challenge your speed by increasing the approach. So start by doing it standing, then do a 1-step approach, then a 2, and so on. Lastly, med ball slams. These are elite for putting more force into the ground, and you can even do them in split stances like this to better translate into running. And if you don't have something that you can slam, you can actually do these fake ball throws. I hope this was helpful, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe and support the channel so that I can bring you guys more videos just like this. Otherwise, I will see you next time, and let's change the game.